Hello and welcome to my channel. Well, I wanted to show you another easy stitch for beginners. So let's do this. Okay, so this stitch pattern you have to chain an odd number. Yeah, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 and so on. So I chain 15 here. So what you're gonna do, this is the first chain, this is the second. In the second we're gonna insert our hook, we're gonna pull up a loop, you're gonna go to the next chain and you're gonna insert your hook and pull another loop, so you have 3 loops on your hook. Grab the yarn and we're gonna pull the yarn through all these 3 loops. Okay, now the next step is, in this chain that you just worked, you're gonna insert your hook, pull up a loop, and then move to the next chain and pull another loop. So you have 3. Grab the yarn and pull the yarn through all 3, and again you're gonna go again, insert your hook here where you just worked that chain, pull up a loop, go to the next chain and you're gonna pull another loop. You have 3. Grab the yarn and pull to all 3. Again you're gonna go in this one you just worked, you insert your hook, pull up a loop, and you go to the next chain and you're gonna pull another loop, and you have 3 loops on your hook. So now you're gonna grab the yarn and pull through all these 3, and you're gonna do like that. You go into this one that you just worked, pull up a loop, go to the next chain, insert your hook, pull another loop. You should always have 3 loops on your hook, pull the yarn through all 3, and again you go into this one that you just worked, pull up a loop, go to the next chain, pull up a loop. You have 3, pull the yarn through all these 3 loops, and again you go into that one that you just worked, next chain, and you pull and again you go into this one that you just worked, pull up a loop, and then go into the next chain, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops. Grab the yarn and pull the yarn through all 3 loops. Again you go into this one that you just worked, pull up a loop, go into the next chain, and you're gonna pull up a loop. You have 3, pull the yarn through all 3 loops, and again you go into this one that you just worked, pull up a loop, go into the next chain, pull up a loop, grab the yarn and pull through all 3, and again you're gonna go into this one that you just worked, pull up a loop, and you go to the next chain, pull up a loop. You have 3, pull the yarn through all 3, and again you're gonna go into the one that you just worked, pull up a loop, go to the next chain, pull up a loop. You have 3, grab the yarn and pull the yarn through all 3, and again you're gonna go into this one that you just worked, insert your hook there, pull up a loop, and the last chain you're gonna insert, you're gonna pull up a loop. You have 3, pull the yarn through all 3, yeah, and then you're gonna chain 2. Yeah, you're always gonna chain 2 at the end. Turn your work, and then the first stitch is here. You're gonna insert your hook in there, pull up a loop, go to the next stitch, insert, pull up a loop, 3 loops, grab the yarn and pull all 3, and again you're gonna go into this one that you just worked. You're gonna insert your hook there, pull up a loop, go to the next stitch, pull up a loop, and pass the yarn through all those 3 loops. And again you're gonna go into this one that you just worked, pull up a loop, next stitch, pull up a loop, and so on. Well, I have to show you the 3rd row, because the 3rd row, it's important. Okay, so you go inside the same stitch that you just worked, move to the next stitch. You should always have 3 loops. Grab the yarn and pull through all those 3 loops, go into that one that you worked, the next one, and so on. I'm gonna try to hurry up here. Okay, you always go into this one that you just worked, yeah? Pull up a loop, you go to the next stitch, you pull another loop, you have 3, pull up the yarn and pull all the yarn through all those 3. Go to the next stitch, go inside the stitch that you just worked in, pull up a loop, go into the next one. I just wanted to do a double crochet. Okay, so you reach the end, you're gonna go inside the stitch that you worked, and then the last stitch, yeah, chain 2, always chain 2 at the end, yeah. So this one I'm gonna try to hurry up to show you. So the first stitch is here, you're gonna insert your hook. Oops. Pull up a loop, go to the next stitch, pull up a loop, and pull the yarn through all the 3 loops. Then you go into the one that you worked, the next stitch, and so on. And at the end of this row I'm gonna show you what you should do, because if you don't see this part, your work is gonna go, it kind of shrinks. And this stitch is called little peas. It makes like small peas, and it has some cute holes in between. So but it's very, very easy for a beginner. It's just, you don't need to concentrate on the pattern or whatever. Okay, so I'm almost at the end. So you will think this is the end, but if you look at the work, it's gonna go like this, it's gonna shrink. So what you're gonna do, you insert your hook in this stitch that you just worked, you insert the hook there, pull up a loop, and then if you remember, we had chain 2, yeah? So it's a tiny hole in there that you're gonna have to go in there, find the hole, insert your hook, pull a loop, and then pass the yarn through all 3, and your work is gonna be straight and not. So that's why now, for example, we're gonna chain 2 like always. So when you turn your work and you go into the first stitch, for example, yeah, and you go into the second, and you do that, these 2, it's here, you see the space in between here. So when you reach the other end, when you go, you're gonna have to pull another loop. Yeah, you're gonna have to insert your hook through that. Yeah. So it's very, very easy for a beginner. It's just, and it's nice, you know, for like a shawl, or in the, you know, in summer, or maybe spring, depends of the size of the yarn. But I will have to say, with this stitch pattern, you're gonna have to, for example, you use a yarn, and they recommend the hook size, the crochet hook size. And with this stitch pattern, you're gonna have to go either half a number bigger or a whole number bigger, the crochet hook. Yeah, so you're gonna pull, and we reach the end, and if you're not careful, you know, you're gonna, so you have these 2 chains here, yeah, so you're gonna go into that, the stitch that you just worked, and you have the 2, you know, 2 chains that you made there. So you're gonna go in there, you're gonna insert your hook, pull up a loop, and then you have it, and it's straight, yeah, it's straight, it's not crooked, and so on. It's not and now you're gonna chain 2, 1, 2, and you're gonna go the first stitch, pull up a loop, the next stitch, pull up a loop, pass the yarn through all those 3 loops, and you go back to this that you just worked the stitch, pull up a loop, next stitch, and it's like this. It's really cute. Yeah, to make like a shrug, like a spring shrug. It's really, really nice. it makes these tiny holes and like peas, like small balls, whatever you call those, or whatever you want to call them. So yeah, it's really, really easy. Okay, always go into the stitch that you just worked, and then the next, so you reach the end, you're gonna go into the stitch that you just worked, pull up a loop, and then you have these 2 chains there that you're gonna have to go in. Yeah. And there you have it, and you chain 2, and again you're gonna turn, go in the first stitch, pull up a loop, second stitch, pull up a loop, and so on. I think you got the idea. It's really, really easy. Yeah, well, the only thing that you have to pay attention, make sure that you go into that, you know, into this stitch that you just worked. Okay, I'm gonna work this row, and then I'm gonna, especially if you try to stretch it, you know, it's really nice. Okay. Okay, and you go inside there, and you have that, you know, the 2 chains that you made in the let me in. Okay. Yeah, sometimes you have to yell at the yarn. Okay, so again, you're gonna chain 2, always turn your work and do the thing. So it looks like this. It's really nice, and I think these things is like small peas, you know, it's really cute. And if you stretch, you know, you have that, those holes is like a mesh, that kind of thing. Yeah, it looks really, really nice. I think a shrug, a spring shrug, it's really cute to have this. Well, I hope you enjoy. For you guys, if you're beginners, is just the right stitch pattern to work with. Yeah, okay, thank you so much. I hope you enjoy. Have a pleasant day.